Hiya, done a bit more. I'm knackered. Back at work after a couple of weeks holiday. It's not good, is it? But hey. So, I've experimented with me MIG. This is the beast. It's bloody awful. It doesn't have actual dials for the power. It's got this switch combination. All you can do is the speed. And with it being a bit old and not having been used for years, the feed mechanism here has been sticking like crazy. So I experimented. Look at the state of that. I think you can see it. Banging holes in, welding stuff together. Terrible, terrible, terrible. And that's when I realised that this thing was all to cock. So I put a new roll on, played about with that, got it cleaned up, and the result is all the plugs are in. Yeah, it's not brilliant, I know, but it'll do the job. And I've got the backing on the top, not on the bottom, and it's not finished and finessed and all that sort of stuff. But that is probably rideable as it is without doing all the rest of it. And underneath, so I'm happy enough with that. What I'm going to do next, because I can't wait to do it, is lock this lot off. I might film it, I might not. We'll see how we go. Ooh, Alex Harvey Band, love this track. Okay, I'll put you back down for now. Okay, just for the sake of it, I thought I'd get a nice, clean, easy, relatively quiet cut with less mess using my Scorpion. But the blade I've got is the last of the three I've got that's got any kind of edge. It's knackered really. I got sort of halfway in, built up the heats, it's sticking. So I'm going to resort to angle grinder. I bought some new blades today. I'll just show you how far I got. So it's doing a nice clean cut, if that's focusing. You can just see it here. If I move sideways you might see the light through the gap. But that's as far as it got before the heat it generated made it seize. And it gets thicker here, obviously. So angle grinder it is. More mess, but hey ho. Right, put you back in and do a bit of grinding. Gloves, I think, for a bit of safety. And much as these glasses are actually better protection than my safety glasses, I don't want to get them knackered because they are optical glasses, the proper ones. So I'll just keep my head out of the way. It's only one straight cut. If I can get the thing switched on. Oh, helps if you plug it in. Gloves. Nice fireworks, come through. You don't need to see angle grinding forever and ever and ever, so we'll turn it off. About here. It's getting good. It's come another look. So, first cut. Lock this. I think that's in focus. I don't know how close I can go, so I'm going to experiment with this camera and see what happens when I come in. That's about 10 inches. Okay. If that experiment doesn't work, then I won't do it again. Still got to weld under here. I've closed the jaw at the top, just a few taps with a hammer. I've welded these in. They were quite deep, obviously, because this thing's so damn thick. It's about 3mm. So to build it back up, I'm just praying that I got a decent penetration to the inner tube, but there's what, 6 or 7 of them, and I'll be welding around here, so that's not going to be a problem. Same thing with here really, it's belt and braces. My welding's pretty rubbish, I'm such an amateur. So I welded both sides and then built it up, and then grind it away, and you see air gaps and stuff, especially as the wire feed wasn't working. What I'll probably do is shape it and then fill all the way underneath as well, so that the metal is pure metal all the way around, so that at the very least I've got a skin. But there's what, 3 layers of welds there, but as I built it up, and where I missed, I don't care that there's air bubbles. When you've got all of that and all of the underside done, it's it's going to be solid, because that's a solid bar, that's not a tube. I'll do the same underneath obviously, and I have to complete shaping this and then fill it with a metal plug. I think I was going to put a bar along here and along here, a plate, but I think it looks more elegant if I just do it that way. I also quite like the idea of these gaps when it's done properly, but there's actually no need for this piece of tube here, so I'll probably lop it out. I just thought a good point to stop and show you where it's at. Obviously I'm going to turn this around now, do the other side, and then think what's next. Okay. Oh yeah, I'm getting there. I've just taken the other side off, spinning it down, and I thought, oh right, test it. Now, this tank, I knackered it. I think I showed it in an earlier video, trying to open this up to get around all this garbage. Didn't work, and it split it, and I don't want to weld it. Don't trust myself that much, and I discovered that this tank has been powder coated. It's had it really. I've no idea what the damage is underneath this, and I can't get this stuff off. I could with an angle grinder, but or the sanding pad, but what's the point? Anyway, I've won another one on eBay. In total with the postage, it's cost me 43 quid. Can't argue with that. So I'm just using this one as a dummy. Now that this is narrowed, I'm looking at the back and I'm looking at the front. Right, front first. Obviously there's the stem, a triple tree for you Yanks. I've left these bungs in. I don't think I'm going to use them, because I don't like this. I don't mind the lip so much, but I do dislike this, so I want undermounts, which is not too difficult to fabricate. I'll take these off, but when I put this, I can't get it low here. It's great at the back, can't get it low, so the angle that I've done here, well, I'll show you in a sec, this angle is not good enough. It'll have to be a lot more shallow, and it's non-structural anymore, it's not doing anything really, so I'm going to lock that lower. The back, I'll put that about where it needs to be, and take you guys off here, excuse hands and wobble. So you can see there, that needs to be much shallower, which I kind of figured would happen. And that I'm really happy with. I like it sitting here. This is going. I'm going to put a mount underneath. I'm going to weld a bolt to that with a rubber bung so that it compresses on the rubber. Same at the front, because otherwise it stresses your tank. But this can go. This can be folded down slightly, but I don't want to risk the new tank. But I think that looks pretty darn cool. And when it's off, you get the idea. Oh yeah, I've still not welded around here and in there, but just the top's got weld on it. If you look down the length, I think that looks pretty elegant. Once I've ground these off and all this, for the time being I'm going to leave that is quite neat and tidy and is matched by that one. I can't remember what goes on them. This one is ugly as sin, and the seat is going to follow the rails here, and remember the rails are going to stop here because I'm hoping to monoshock it. We'll see how that goes. It may not happen, I may have to change plans. Until I get a donor bike, I don't know. I don't like this, I don't like this thing here. That has to stay because it's an engine mount. This, I don't know, if I take it out and fold this up to here, I don't suppose I really need that because it's only my backside. It's a section which will be welded from here to here to take the top end of the shock, but I don't know yet. Until I get one, I can't decide. What I'd really like to do is mount the shock underneath like Harleys do, but I've also got plans for the exhaust to do something a bit wacky. I want to do a fold back. I'm thinking of one of these pipes that will come either side of this centre column that will be here. My thoughts are pipes come down, double back on themselves underneath, dual into the exhaust comes forward, and a couple of stubby outs at the front. I don't think I've ever seen it done that way. Everybody seems to be doing a great big collector box at the bottom and then a big stubby out here. I don't really want that, because I want the back to be as naked as possible, and I want this as short as possible. I just want it to be an engine and me and nothing else, as minimal as I can possibly get. But anyway, I'm quite pleased with this. Obviously it's rough as a dog's, but hey, it's a work in progress. I think that looks quite nice. I'm quite pleased. Work of art. Anyway, I'm going to start playing with grinding these until she starts moaning at me about making noise at night. It'll be a while before I do anything more than bits on this, because I'm back at work now and I'm off for the next couple of days. I'm going down to Cambridge, Reading, Oxford and then back to Manchester. So it'll be the end of the week before I get another chance after tonight. Mind you, I might end up doing what I did the other night and just keep going until it gets really dark and embarrassingly drunk and all that rubbish. Okay, I'll shut you off for now. Just realised I haven't shown you any of my bloody awful welding. So, here we go. Not bad. Ah, there she is. missed. Oops. Bloody awful cheap helmet. Need to get some kind of bandage inside it. That's awful. It's supposed to sound like frying bacon, but it doesn't. Can you hear the motor on that thing going fast and then slow? Dreadful. But it'll work. There's a load of junk to grind off, but got to be a bit careful around here. I don't want to deform this. Turn that light off. Short ass. Oops. Obviously this is the point where I don't show you my weld until I've blushed it down and ground it. That way it looks like I knew what I was doing. Okay, I think I've probably done for tonight. I've got an early start tomorrow, so I can't get too tanked up. I've ground one bit and I'm going to show you something really embarrassing and really cool. It's my theory on welding, because I just don't do enough, and I haven't done it for 10 years, but I don't do enough to be really proficient and do those beautiful welds that you see people do. So I'll show you the way I do it. So I'm hoping you can see that. Is it focused? Oops. I think so. Pull the light over a bit. Yeah, so there's a few gaps, a few cracks, but there's quite a lot that's good enough. So what I do is I do it in 2 layers. I do that, and then I'll go over the gaps and fill them so that there's no actual filler needed when I sand it all down and shape it. A bit like here. If you look, hang on. If you look at that, you can see that the interface, this one, is what I set the welder for, because I didn't want to burn through the narrow tube. The thick stuff it's not that clever. So the inner has got a decent seam going all the way down. This bit, most of it's good, some of it maybe not. This front edge obviously I've missed, but I'm going to weld that, and I'm going to go underneath, and I'm going to go in the gap under there. So by doing it double layer, I don't need to be as skillful as a pro welder would be, but it's definitely strong enough. And the same thing will apply here. On the other side of this, you won't believe what a mess I made, because I'm using a welder that isn't actually working because it's stopping and starting on the feed, and I'm useless. So nightmare. I'll grind it all off, but it will be strong enough because of this double coat. I'm getting a skin of at least 2 mil thickness, which, to be honest, that's about all this stuff is. It's if I don't think it's even that. Well, if we look here, what's the thickness of that tube walling? And they reckon that's strong enough. So it will do the job. It maybe wouldn't work doing this method if you didn't have such a thick pipe. But hey, if you're only welding on the very, very rare occasion, maybe I'll get better. Maybe I'll do it in beautiful seams that I can leave, because they reckon that if you don't have to adjust it afterwards, that's the best weld you can get. But I can't do that, so I have to do the best I can do. And I think that is certainly going to be strong enough. I've decided all of this has to go. It's not doing anything. I may actually cut up here and put a strengthening piece and then put a nick in that and bend it back to this. I'm not exactly sure yet. I'm more concerned about this section to start with, once that's rigid. And then I'm going to measure from this peak to the centre of these, hoping that's not all blurred, to the centre of these and this side. But it turns out the frame isn't straight anyway. It's far from it. This one is about 3 mil, 4 mil back from this one. So it can't be that critical. I don't know. We'll see when I ride it. But anyway, get that back out of the way. There it is for now. Oh, I think it's alright. It's getting there. So I'll wrap this up. Won't be any posts for a while. Everybody's on holiday, so it leaves me covering most of the country in my job, which is not exactly brilliant. But hey, it's what you have to do. So, peace out, ride safe.
Wow, oh, it'll be really interesting to know in a month's time
Okay.
how you're feeling.
Not quite finished. One last thing.
And much less fragile.
Turns out, the gas regulator
because you're changing your jobs, is that
is
right?
knackered. Doesn't turn off on properly, which won't have helped. And when I did that side, I was out of gas. No wonder it was so bad. I thought it was me having too much to drink, but I've not had that much. So I'm 2 bottles down. I've got 1 left. I have to get some more. This is not the way to get gas. It costs a fortune doing it this way. Go to your local pub, make a deal with the landlord, use one of his big gas bottles. That way you can avoid the rental fee. Anyway, just thought I'd let you know I'm not that bad. Cheers.